You wanna gamble? I'll go gamble with you. You wanna do it? This guy all yours. I gamble. Told you.
Welcome to this episode of How to Crush No Limit Hold'em games in United States Casino. I'm Jun. Today we're playing cash game in a WSOP venue in Paris Casino, and let's go fishing. So the first hand we're gonna share today is I got 10 jack suited under the gun and I open raise to 20 bucks. Cutoff calls. Flop comes queen 8 9 2 diamonds. So we flop the straight and it's a very good situation, but we still need to cool down to see how can we get max value. And on this board, opponent would hit a lot of cards and had many relations to do with this board. His queen x and 9x and pocket pairs would probably stab me after I checked, so I decided to check the flop. An opponent bets 25 bucks and I check raise to 100 bucks and he chooses to call. Turn comes a 9 of clubs and pair the board. We're no longer a nuts, we're losing to pocket 8s, pocket 9s or 9-8s, this kind of combos. But I don't think this turn card we need to worry about this turn card. And I still bet 150 bucks. I'm hoping his flush draw, some queen or 9x can continue to pay me. But very sadly, he still chooses to fold. But we still take down this first part we're playing this session. And the second hand we're gonna share today is cutoff player open raise to 15 bucks. I got ace-10 offsuit on the button, and because cutoff is the second best position on the table and he would play a wide range of the hands, so I still need to 3-bet him using ace-10 offsuit. And I raise to 15 bucks and he chooses to call. Flop comes ace-jack 4 2 hearts, he checked to me. And I got a top pair plus 10 kicker. It's not a very particularly large kicker, so I don't bet always. I choose to check. And here we can see wizard ace-10 offsuit on this kind of spot. We will choose to check and bet around 50-50. And turn comes a 9 of hearts. It complete the frontal flush. Opponent checked me again. Here I don't have a heart on my hand and I bet for 40 bucks. Opponent calls. And now I don't really like this bet. We can see on the wizard. Ace-10 offsuit with a 10 of heart will bet more frequently, and without the heart it would suggest to check. And I think there's also some merit if we check the turn, because opponent will see we check 2 streets and he may want to bet the river. Turns on river comes a 8 of clubs, he checked to us. And I don't think here we can get value from worse hand, so I decided to check back. An opponent shows ace-queen offsuit, and very sadly we lose this pot again. The next hand starts with cutoff player limped, and bottom player also calls. I got pocket aces on the big blind and I raised to 30 bucks, and cutoff player calls, bottom folded. Flop comes jack 3 5 2 diamonds, and I don't have the diamonds on my hand, so I bet 40 bucks, a relatively large size. His top pair, pocket pairs, and draws won't fold here, and he chooses to call. Turn comes a 6 of spade. Opponents may have 5-6 or pocket 6, but I don't have a ace of diamonds on my hand, and I don't block opponent's flush draw, so I continue to bet for value, and I bet for 125. An opponent think for a while and choose to call. And river comes a 4 of clubs, so it's a 1-card straight board. And I'm not too worried about opponents may have straight, because opponents, if he has 5-7 or 6-7 or pocket 7s, it's hard to call me for 2 streets of big bet. And opponents may have some good jacks like king jack or queen jacks, or like strong draws like ace-4, ace-2 diamonds, this type of hand, and I don't want to miss value from these hands. So I continue to bet for 250. And the opponent seems very painful, and he finally throw out one chip and choose to call, and he saw the bad news, and we successfully take down this spot. In the next hand is I got ace-5 of hearts on the bottom, and I raise it to 20 bucks. Small blind and big blind calls. Flop comes queen 10-8 rainbow. All player check to me. And here I got nothing, and this board is very draw heavy, so I don't think it's very good idea to continue bet, so I choose to check. Turn comes a 6 of heart, and small blind bet for 35 bucks, big blind folded. Here I got a backdoor nuts flush draw, and I'm in position, plus I got great implied odds, and he only bets for half of the pot, so I choose to call. And river comes a 4 of hearts, and very luckily I hit the nut flush. Small blind check to me. Here I completely not blocking opponent's strong hands like 9 jack straight or some 2 pairs and sets, so I decided to overbet for 200 bucks. And opponent thinks for a while and throw 1 chips to call. And after I show, he mugs his hand, and we successfully took down a huge pot. In the next hand we got a table change, and this is a straddle table. And this hand start with someone straddle to 10 bucks. I got ace-9 offsuit on the bottom, and I raise it to 35 bucks. And small blind a big boss Sunny calls. Straddle 3-bet me to 125. Here I choose to fold, but what happens next is very interesting.
You wanna gamble? I'll go gamble with you. You wanna do it?
An opponent just spread his hands, and small blind push all in, and straddle snap call. And the board comes ace jack queen 7-3. And the small blind shows pocket 8s, and the straddle shows pocket deuces.
The guy earlier bluffed me though, and he said, "You wanna bet?" I said, "You wanna do all in blind?" Oh, he shut up.
And very sadly we didn't get in and took down this pot, but we can expect that this table is gonna be a lot of interesting hands. In the next hand I got ace-3 of hearts on the cutoff, and I raised it to 35 bucks, straddle calls. Flop comes jack 5-6 rainbow. He checked to me. Here I think betting and checking all make sense, and I choose to check. Turn comes a 4 of hearts. A very good turn card. We simultaneously got a backdoor flush draw and an open-ended straight draw. An opponent bets for 30 bucks. Here I'm in position, so I choose to call very easily. And river comes a 4 of heart, and very luckily we hit a backdoor nuts flush. An opponent bets for 30 bucks. I choose to raise to 125. An opponent asks me if I have a flush.
That's why I do
flush? Yeah, flush. Do you got a better flush?
And I think when opponent acts this way, it seems like he's got a flush. And he shows a 7 of hearts. Looks like he really got one.
You had a flush?
And finally, he still chooses to call. We successfully take down this spot. And more interestingly, when I first playing on the table, they're deciding to make this table a straddle table, but I don't really want to, so small blind player Sunny says he would play me $5 each time when I'm straddle. So you can see after this hand, he gives me a $5 chips after this hand.
Thank you. Welcome, buddy. You don't want to straddle. So I said, okay, I give the other one earlier too, on that seat. On that seat. The guy was tired. I said, I don't want to do straddle. I said, okay, I'll give you $5. I said, yeah. And then we're friends now. That's how you make friends.
What's your name, man? What's your name?
Sunny.
Sunny Devin.
And this is how people make friends on the table. Thank you, Sunny, my best friend. However, very sadly, that table didn't last long and break after a while. And the next hand is I got to the new table, and I got pocket jacks on the low jack, and I raised it to 15 bucks. Cut off small blind and big blind all calls. Flop comes ace-2-5, 2 hearts. Small blind and big blind check to me, and on this 4-way pot I choose to check. Cutoff player also checks. Turn very luckily comes a jack of clubs. Small blind and big blind check to me again. Here I definitely want to bet for value. This board comes with a front door and back door flush draw, so I bet for 40 bucks. Cutoff and small blind all folds, and the big blind player check raise to 160. Here I think my hand is almost the nuts, and opponents will not have aces on this spot, and he could have 3-4 straight, but he can also have pocket deuces, pocket 5, or ace-2, s5 on this board. And I definitely want to fast play to prevent some round outs that will stop his action. So I decided to push all in around 500 bucks.
I'm all in. Gentleman says all in.
And he chose to snap call. And river comes at 7 of clubs. And opponent shows 3-4. He's got a wheel. And very sadly, the turn card gives us a set, but we cost us a very huge pot. And the next hand is middle position player raise it to 20 bucks. Low jack and high jack player calls. I got pocket deuces on the small blind, I choose to call. And flop comes jack deuce for rainbow, and very luckily we hit a set. And all player check to low jack, he bets 25 bucks. High jack player calls. On this dry board there's barely any draws, so I decided to slow play and only choose to call. And middle position player folded. Turn comes a 10 of hearts, I choose to check. And very sadly, 2 opponents all choose to check. And river comes at 7 of hearts and complete a backdoor flush. Here I decided to check and see what happens. And high jack player overbets for 200 bucks. Wow, here is a very tough decision. He's basically saying he has a flush. But noted that the jack on the board is a jack of heart. So he won't have any jack with a backdoor flush draw and calls a flop. So he would only have like 5-6 of hearts or ace-5 of hearts calling on the flop. And plus I think he's a loose player, so I decided to call finally.
Call.
And opponent shows queen 9 of hearts. So I don't expect that he will float this combo on the flop. So very sadly we have sets losing to the same person 2 hands in a row. And the next hand is high jack player limped. Bottom player raised it to 25 bucks. And because she plays really tight, so I got pocket 10s on the small blind and I only choose to call. And high jack player also calls. Flop comes 10-6-3, 2 diamonds. I hit the top set. And me and high jack player check to bottom and she bets for 50 bucks. And here I only choose to call. High jack player also calls. But now I think probably it would be better if I re-raise on the flop, because the bottom player got a strong range and he would got a lot of overpairs and she would not necessarily barrel the turn. So I think perhaps it's better to re-raise on the flop. And turn comes a 5 of heart. And after I check, they both check. And river comes a king of heart and complete the backdoor flush. But I'm not too worried about the backdoor flush, and bottom player may have some king queen or king jack that bets the flop and check the turn. So I decided to bet for 150. I'm hoping his top pair can calls. But very sadly 2 opponents choose to fold. But the good news is we take down the pot with the set this time. And the next hand is bottom player straddle to 10 bucks, and I got pocket kings on middle position and I raised it to 35 bucks. Low jack player and bottom player calls. Flop comes 2-6-7, 2 diamonds. And the board had a lot of draws, so I bet for 70 bucks, a relatively heavy bet. And low jack player calls, bottom folded. Turn comes a 3 of diamonds and complete the front door flush, and I choose to check. An opponent bets for 155, a large bet, and here I got a king of diamonds, so I decided to call. And river comes a jack of spade, and it's a blank. And I check to opponents, and opponents push all in. And here is a very painful decision because he would absolutely got a lot of flush in his range, and if he's got 3-4, he's complete straight. But I don't think he would got a lot of 3-4 on low jack. And his bluff combos can have 8-9 or some ace-x with 8 of diamonds. But I don't think he would have 2 pairs or set because he's betting very fast. If he's got a 2-pair or set, I think he would think for a while and start to action. Finally, after a long tank, I still choose to call because I got a king of diamonds. And after I call, opponent shows a ace of diamonds. And I thought I lost this hand, and when I'm folding my hand, opponent shows another card is a 10 of spade. And it's very scary because I almost fold my hand.
You show that ace, scare me.
Show you the ace, you're supposed to throw your person.
Almost.
I know, I see you're like,
So we definitely learn a new lesson. When we're going to showdown, we definitely want to wait until opponent shows both cards and decide we're gonna show or fold. And anyway, we successfully catch the bluff and take down the final part of today. Overall, I think playing in a Paris casino in WSOP venue is not very easy because I think the proportion of reg is pretty high. And sometimes there will be 1 or 2 fish come to the table, but soon they will be stacked. Today, this episode is combined 4 different sessions, and my total buy-in is 2,500, and I cash out for 3,006, and it's around 1,100 profit, and I think it's a very satisfying result. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.
That is your chance to be ruthless.